Hello and welcome to another episode of Wednesdays with WV. On this episode, I'm going to have a guest who stonewalled the best of bowlers for a long, long time. If at all anybody can brag about getting a like for like replacement, it's only Indian cricket which can do it because after Dravid quit the scene, there were a lot of questions as to who was going to fill that huge void. And in came Cheteshwar Pujara on the basis of his huge scores at all levels. So it's my pleasure to present to you Cheteshwar Pujara. Hello, Cheteshwar Pujara. How are you? How is UK treating you? You just landed there, getting rid of your jet lag.
Yes, sir, I'm fine. Yeah, just trying to get rid of jet lag, but good thing is I'm waking up early, so all good with that, and going to bed early as well. So yeah, all good.
Okay, you landing there is obviously triggered the nightmares for the bowlers in the county circuit now.
uh, yeah, I love playing county cricket, and I've scored some runs. So yeah, it's always good to be amongst runs, and I love playing for Sussex. I'm leading the Sussex team in the championship format, and yeah, it's a good bunch of players. So I'm enjoying my time with them.
You can be forgiven for saying some runs when you just end up with 150s, 160s because you're used to doubles and triples.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing is that let's get to the crux of the matter here. Going back in time, you lost your mother when you were a teenager. What did you lean on to cope up with that tragedy, the grief?
Um, Look, good thing is my father has always coached me in cricket, and even off the field, he has been a great support. Also, all the family members chipped in. They knew that I was young. I was 17 when I lost my mom, and it was a tough time because I was very close to my mom. I always used to share everything, whatever used to happen on the cricketing field, and even off the field. If I liked something, if I didn't like something, she was the person to go to, and yeah, it was a bit of a shock for me at that time. I didn't understand the severity of. Yeah, she was having cancer, so I didn't know, how to react, and it was a sudden death as well. Yeah, so it was a tough time for me, but my family, my friends, my father, everyone was around, and they guided me during that time.
It's always a grievous incident, a mother dying, but even more so when somebody very close to you, like your mother, dies due to cancer because the suffering leading up to the end, it's not something that you would want anybody to go through, isn't it?
Definitely not, because she was taking chemotherapy, and the kind of pain she was going through. I mean, not many people can handle that. Although she was having pain, but she always used to smile. She always, she never feared death. She lived her life. So there were so many things for me to learn from her life, and she was very religious as well. So she always used to tell me. I still remember her words when I was young. Even so, at that time I didn't play for the Indian team, but I had a dream of playing for the Indian team, and she used to tell me the most important thing in life is to become a good human being than the best cricketer, or even if you become a famous person, don't forget who you are, and you're always judged as a person, not as a cricketer. So I still remember those words, and I try and live up to it.
You're doing a very good job of it, I assure you.
Thank you.
And after passing away, it must have obviously brought you and your father much closer, isn't it?
Yeah, it did, because my father was the one who used to look after me if I had any issues at home, or if anything was needed. I mean, he used to be with me on the field all the time, because he has been my coach since I was young. But even at home, he had another responsibility to look after me. But good thing is, I started playing a bit more cricket. I got selected in the under 19 Indian team. I started traveling, so there was something for us to look up to. So it was important for us to try and shift our focus to cricket, and then talk more about cricket, try and improve my game, try and think of what I can do to get better. That always helped us because our most of the time our talk was about cricket and how to improve the game and how to keep getting better and keep reaching our goal.
Would it be fair and sensitive to say that cricket proved to be a solace for you to get over your mother's death?
Yeah, it was because if you're not occupied with something, then you always try and uh, we had sweet memories, but you still don't want to dwell too much into what had happened in the past because we lost a person who both of us loved her the most. So. I mean, for us, it was a tough time, and the good thing is that we had something to lean on to, and cricket. Both love cricket. So the moment we were on the field, we were always enjoying that time. We were always enjoying that moment, to be on the cricketing field, to be on the practice sessions, and to keep working on something.
What really caused all the hunger you had to get those big runs even during the under 19 days?
When I, very honestly, when I was playing junior cricket, I didn't get picked at under 15 and under 17 Indian team. Although I had scored a lot of runs in under 14 and under 16 level, but for some reason I didn't get picked for the Indian team. So I thought that these runs are not enough. I still need to score a bit more runs, and that's how I started scoring big runs in under 19s, and then I got picked and then it became a habit of scoring big runs. So when made my debut for the Saurashtra team in 2006, uh, I had a good time. I mean, I scored runs in my debut game. Then it carried on, and I started scoring runs even in Ranji Trophy. So for 1 or 2 seasons, I was a decent scorer, but those runs were not enough because we had the great team. I mean, one can think of we had the likes of if I start with the batting order, Gautam Gambhir, Virendra Sehwag, Rahul Bhai used to bat at number three, Sachin Padi was at four, VVS Laxman was at five. So there was no way, for me to get into that team. But the only thing I could have done was, just be part of that squad. Maybe not playing the 11, but there were some players who were part of that squad, and I thought that if I score more runs, I'll also get an opportunity to be part of that squad, and that's how I told myself that if I'm scoring 600 or 700 runs in a season, that's not good enough. Maybe I need to score a bit more, and that's how I started scoring, big double hundreds and triple hundreds.
For the benefit of those who are watching this program, is there any recipe to get big scores like you've done?
Well, there is no secret to it, but you need to have a lot of discipline because once you cross 100, your body gets tired. Your mind.
Hold on,
Or
Chets. Hold on, Chets. Once you cross 100, that's where you start normally. But even for others who
yeah,
are finding it
yeah.
difficult to break through those 80s and 90s sometimes to get to 100, what happens? How do they go about it?
Well, I would say is the most important thing is your your mind control, the way you prepare. It's not just about how you get those runs in the game. It's how you prepare before the game. If you have prepared well, if you have, if you are disciplined during your practice sessions, the kind of shots you play in the practice sessions is also very important. Yes, you want to learn new shots, you want to express yourselves in the nets. But if you are not disciplined enough, if you are, very casual, you are not concentrating enough in the nets, then it won't happen in the game because once you cross 50, 60, your concentration level goes down. You're not able to focus for the long time. So the important thing is to focus. I What I try and do is that my concentration level is the highest when I'm batting in the nets, and I try and make sure that my net sessions are always intense. So when I go in the game, I'm relaxed. I don't need to think much about what I need to do because I've trained myself. My muscle memory has been really good. So the way you prepare, it leads up to the way you perform in the game. So for me, it has always been about preparation.
How much have you benefited playing in Rajkot, where the pitch is generally considered a highway?
Well, it used to be a flat track when I was young. Not anymore. I think nowadays there's a bit more for the bowlers, which is a good thing. But for me, it wasn't just about playing in Rajkot because when I was young, I used to play for Indian Oil. I used to play time shield. I used to travel elsewhere to get used to different conditions in the game. Yes, I mean there was an advantage of playing at Rajkot. Being a batsman, you always get to score runs. But I realized that it's important to play on different pitches, have that experience playing across India. So I used to travel and play as many tournaments as possible. And I also started once I scored runs in the Ranji Trophy. I got into the Duleep Trophy squad. Then I got into the India A squad. So I traveled a lot. I traveled and played at different venues. But yeah, when you play at Rajkot, there was always an advantage. As a batsman, you play on a flat track, so you know that you have to make the most of it. But sometimes it's challenging as well because if you're fielding first, you end up fielding for uh, almost 2 days, and then when you have to go and bat, it's never easy. So it also helped me with my fitness as well because many occasions, I mean, there is no brainer. Whichever team wins the toss at Rajkot, they always choose to bat first. So we ended up losing toss on many occasions, and then I had to make sure that I field for that long, and then when I uh, get my opportunity to bat, I had to bat long, and that tested my concentration, my fitness as well.
Incidentally, I remarked about this when I saw you when you were young. You had come for a Buchibabu game. You fielded for about 1.5 days or something like that in the hot sun, and then you went on to score 100. So I did remark that you had tremendous fitness to do what you did. Everybody knows that your father has been your coach. Did you at any time seek anybody else's help?
Yes, I always used to chat with different coaches whom I've worked with at whether it's zonal cricket academy, whether it's national cricket academy. You have been part of that, so you know that I've been at the NCA. So yeah, I always chat with the coaches. I try and take their guidance. When I was young, I always used to look up to Rahul Bhai, Sachin Paji. So when I got an opportunity to meet them, I spoke about the game. So I always used to discuss the game with whether it's senior players or the coaches, and then try and take their guidance. But I was never a big, I mean, I always used to have a chat with my father, and it's never easy to change your technique. You can always refine your game. You can take advice and then try and work on few things. But it's always difficult to change your technique. Or if I go into detail, like you can't change your grip when you are 20 or 21. It's because you have played junior cricket for such a long time. It's very tough to change something, but you can always learn from the coaches. And it's not just about technique. I think nowadays people are more open. It's different players have different techniques, so you don't need to go too much in detail about the technique. For me, it was about take learning from the coaches, their experience, or what are the things I can work on, what are the different ways I can prepare, and those things has helped me immensely.
It's a tricky thing, isn't it? You can talk to as many coaches as you want, but you
Yeah.
got to be clever enough to filter the things that will help you. How difficult is that? And no diplomacy here. This will benefit a
Yeah.
lot of states.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So I feel that you will get different advice from different coaches. So one needs to understand what works for you. There are times where you want to try out few things, but the most important thing again is you don't need to try out anything when you are in the season. I think it's very difficult for a player to change their technique while they are into first class season, or if you are playing at the international level. Obviously you've worked enough to reach there, so you know your game. But the for all the young players who are playing at the first class level, who are growing up, they are getting into the first class team. So for them it's important to understand that when you have your off season, you can maybe try out few things, work on few technical aspects. But once you are in the season, I don't think one should work on the technique. It's more about tactical things. It's more about knowing what you need to do, having the right strategy, having the maybe fine tuning few things. Maybe if you're working on your footwork, that still doesn't affect much. But don't look at your stance, don't look at your grip, because that is set. And once you are in the season, you don't need to think about that much.
You've been quoted as saying, you don't play your natural game, you play the circumstances in a test match. Now, that's a masterpiece of a statement. Please explain it.
Well, I feel in Test cricket, when you walk into bat, it is important for a batter to understand that what number you bat. If you're batting in top order, you need to understand what the pitch is, how the conditions are, and then try and bat accordingly. So for me, it's always about playing the situation. If the team is 100 for no loss, and then suddenly we lose a wicket, and I know that if it's a flat pitch, and if I get a loose ball on first delivery, then I'll hit it for four. But if if you're playing overseas, we know that there is bit in the pitch, the bowlers are fresh. Then there is that's the time where you trust your defense, you trust your technique, and try and see through that spell. And once you are in, then you start playing your shots. So it's important to understand your strength, and my strength has always been my defense, my technique, playing on the merit of the ball. So that's what I try doing when I walk into bat. But yeah, different players have different temperament, and different approach to the game. Someone like Virendra Sehwag, he knew his game. He knew that he had to play shots, if he had to play test cricket, even if he was batting in the middle order, or even when he started opening, he played his aggressive game. So that was his strength. He backed his strength. And for me, it's about backing my strength, and I knew my strength really well. And fortunately, I've been able to do that over a period of time.
Playing the circumstances, has it proved detrimental to your personal interest at times?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Playing the
Yeah,
circumstances, as you
yeah,
always did, has it proved detrimental to your personal interest at times?
yeah. It did. See, at certain point, see, there have been many phases in my cricketing career where there were many question marks. But you always look at the bigger picture. I always feel that when you are playing a team sport, what is the best way you can put put a team into a good position? And for me, in Test cricket, there is no brainer. I always feel that when you are batting top of the order, you need to make sure that the team doesn't lose too many wickets with the new ball. Uh, on many occasions, when you're playing in the overseas conditions, we have seen in the past the way Indian team has played, and if we have lost 2 or 3 wickets in first 30 overs, we are always in trouble. Then we never end up getting to 300 or 350 plus. So when you are playing overseas, you need to make sure that in any team, it's not just the Indian team, but most of the teams has that strategy of seeing through the new ball, not losing too many wickets in first 30 overs, and that has always been my target. And yeah, I mean, once you start scoring runs, once you start helping the team, people also realize that yeah, this is the way you want to play in overseas conditions. Maybe in India it's the other way around. I think when we lose a wicket, it's in India it's slightly easier to go a little harder when the ball is new. Once the ball gets softer, it's slightly challenging to score runs.
This one is going to be a hard question. Did you at any times feel that being selfish is beneficial than being a team player?
I would agree, sir. I would agree that if you are a little selfish, you always be part of the squad. But I've very honestly, I always feel that I always believe in the team sport. So even if I have to sit out of the team by just doing the right thing for the team, I don't mind, because I am not someone who will play for my spot. I'm always a person who will try and make sure that the team wins. If I'm not capable enough of making sure that the team is not if the team is not winning, if I'm part of the squad or part of the playing 11, then I'm not doing justice to my ability. So I completely agree that in India many players think that they have to be part of the squad. They need to be a little selfish, try and score their runs. But I never think it that way, because then you will always end up being a player who is just part of the squad, but not good enough to win games for the team. And I mean, I never knew this stat, but someone brought it up to me. Whenever I've scored more than 70 or 80, the team has, I mean, we have ended up winning that test match, or we have never lost that particular test match. So the percentage wise, it's about 80 or 90% of my scores, which are 80 plus. The Indian team has ended up winning that game. So I think I'm proud of that stat, rather than just being a player who gets 50 or 60 and then gets out and not helping the team.
From your perspective, how crucial is Cheteshwar Pujara in the batting lineup? From your perspective,
Well, it is important because number three position is always crucial, and you want your top three, top four batters to ensure that the team gets a good start, and you end up putting a decent total on the board. So even from my perspective, I mean, if you have a player who is a solid player at number three, who gives you a good start, then most of the times you will end up being in a good position as a team, and it also helps the players who are batting at number four, five, six. If you get a good start, because their life also becomes slightly easier when you're playing in overseas conditions. So yeah, our top three are always crucial in Test cricket.
Now, I'd like you to come out of yourself, think you're the captain, and if you had a player like Pujara, how would you have treated him?
Well, I genuinely always believe that each and every player has to play to their strength. So if I had a player like me, I would always try and tell him that back yourself, back your game. And I've led at different at different platforms in different teams. So I've led India A team. I've led some of the zonal teams, state teams, and even currently I'm leading the Sussex team. So in my experience, whoever the player is, you want to try and get the best out of him. Try and understand his strength. Don't look at your own perspective. I think it's important to understand a player's perspective, and give them the freedom to get the best out of them. So it's important to understand a player's strength, and I've also come across some of the attacking players in the team, and I have never told them to bat my way. I've always told them to bat the way they should be batting, because it's important to allow them to back their strength, rather than telling them that no, you try and be defensive because it's a test format. You can't stop them from playing their shots. So it's important to understand each and everyone's strength, and for the attacking players, I've always told them that try and be smart, because you have to play your attacking game, but along with that you have to show a little bit of smartness so that you are not predictable and getting out.
Talking of being a captain, you would have fancied your chances of leading the Indian side. Unfortunately, that was not to be. Disappointed?
Not really. See, if that is something which you don't want to, I mean, yes, I mean, if it comes, then it is always nice. But if it doesn't, then that is not something which will disappoint you. That is a process, and along with that process, I mean, when you are playing for the Indian team, if it comes, it is always an honor to lead the Indian team. If it doesn't come, then you're not much bothered about it, because as a cricketer, you enjoy that journey, you enjoy that time with the Indian team, trying to make the most of each and every game, and try and do your best, rather than thinking about if I'm the captain. I mean, it'll be good. I mean, yes, it is good, but I mean, those aspiration doesn't help the team. I think as a player, your role is to give your best inputs to the players, because sometimes even if you are not a captain, if you're a vice captain, you try and give inputs to the captain. Even if you're not a vice captain, if you're just a player, you still try and contribute to the team, you try and give your inputs, you try and pass on your knowledge, because on many occasions, because I've played a lot of county cricket, I know that there are certain things which we can do when we are playing in English conditions. So I've always given my input, and then it's always up to the captain to how they want to take it forward.
Let's hear you decode the captains that you played under briefly.
Well, it's each and every captain has been different.
Like
I
say
made my
Dhoni, Rahane, Kohli, briefly.
uh, every my debut was under Mahibai, so I've always enjoyed that time. He was very calm. He always made sure that each and every player was comfortable, especially the young players. I mean, when I made my debut, we had some of the most senior players. So to be part of that dressing room, one had to stay calm, try and learn from senior players. Yeah, so during my debut time, under my wife, we had some great players, so I learned a lot. And then Virat became the test captain. He was quite aggressive on the field, but off the field, again, he was very calm. He was good thing about him as he had paid a lot of importance to fitness, and he was very intense on the field. but off the field you are always relaxed. So that also helped. Then yeah, for a short period of time, Ajinkya was the captain. Again, he was very calm. He brought in all the players together, and he told them when we, especially when we were in Australia after we lost the first test match, we made sure that everyone was together, and then because we had won the series in the past, our discussion was to repeat that, and we eventually ended up doing that. But everyone was together, and because Ajinkya was very calm, I mean, it helped immensely. And then now talking about Rohit, he has been again, he's very calm, so he knows what he has been doing. And good thing for him is he has led the Mumbai Indian teams for so many years, so that experience always helps him. But yeah, different playing under different captains, and each and every captain has been having different personalities. So good thing about all of them is they've never changed as a person. They've always been the way they are, which is a good thing.
Yeah, talking about Rahane being calm, he kept the side motivated in Australia. What did he do differently? Because after getting rolled out for 36 and then coming back the way you guys did was tremendous.
See, one thing which all of us discussed was to, forget the past. We were bowled out for 36, but that was one particular session where we didn't play well. But if you look at that test match, apart from that one session, we were still in the game. We still had our chances. So one bad session doesn't change the team. We accepted that we didn't bat well, but we had an opportunity to come back in the series. It was a four test match series, so we knew that we had won in Australia in the past. So we had that self confidence that we can do well in Australian conditions. Most of the players were part of that squad in 2018. So most of the players were experienced also. Yes, some of the we still had some inexperienced players, but it was important for all the players to stay together and guide the younger players. So what we did well over there was to forget our past, focus on our present, and then start preparing for the next test match. So we did that really well, and we took one test match at a time. We never thought about uh, winning the series. Try and make sure that the second test match we try and do well, uh, win that one, and we did that. Actually, we won the second test match, and we were back in the series. Once it was 1-1, then there was a lot to play for in the last two test matches.
The body blows at the Gaba. How much satisfaction did it give you? The courageous effort.
Yeah, it was. I think that was probably one of my best test innings under the circumstances which we were in. I think the pitch, particularly from one end, was a little challenging to bat from, and I got hit in different body parts. So yeah, it was painful, but it was in the end it was a sweet pain, and yeah, I mean, I've always been told about the kind of courage I've showed, but when I was batting there, I never thought about anything else. It was painful, but I was just being in the moment. I knew that if I'm there at the crease, we'll have the best of chances of chasing down the total. But initially, when we lost the first wicket, it was my plan was to make sure that we get off to a good start, don't allow them to get another wicket with a new ball. And once the Kookaburra ball gets rolled, everyone knows that the batting becomes easier, and then you can start playing your shots. And that particular pitch, yes, it was challenging, but once the ball was softer, it didn't do as much as what it did with the new ball. So yeah, I mean, I just again I just played to my strength. Didn't think about anything else, and I just wanted to be in that moment, and not think about what has happened in the past, because when you get hit, sometimes you start thinking about what will happen if I get hit again, or what should be my strategy in the next ball. But I always felt that you have to forget what has happened in the previous ball, and you can't also think about too far ahead. I never thought about winning that test match. I just wanted to be in present, play each and every ball, and then eventually we ended up winning that test match. But I never thought about winning, because once you start looking at the future, you are not yourself. You are, not playing to your strength, and thinking about something which is not in the present. So it's, for me, it's always important to be in the present and play one ball at a time.
Now, for a conscientious parameter that is highly discussed, strike rate. What does that all mean to you?
Well, for me, it's always about doing the best thing for the team. Test cricket is always about reading the situation, doing the best thing for the team. Once you are, it's always important to have the right intent of playing on the merit of the ball, but you don't want to be overdoing that either. So I don't think one needs to think too much about it. It's always about backing your game, backing your ability. If someone, as I've said earlier, someone like Virendra Sehwag, he can't be defensive. But someone like me, I can't bat the way Virupaji bats. So one needs to stick to their strength, and I've never moved away from it. There are times where you need to work a bit more on your game, and then try and add few more shots, which I've always done. In especially in last 2 3 years, I've added few more shots in my game, which has helped me a lot. So yeah, I mean, I always believe that one has to keep working on their game, try and be little innovative, because you always want to put bowler under pressure. But yeah, there is always a fine line. You don't want to overdoing it, and try and end up losing your wicket. Where there's in Test cricket. Picking a wicket is always, for a bowler, it has to be a hard work. So one never should give away their wicket. There is always a prize on batter's wicket, and if you are there at the crease, you will always end up scoring runs. So yeah, try and play the situation rather than thinking about I have to be positive or I have to be defensive. I always feel that one needs to read the situation and try and bat according to the conditions.
Now, this baseball has caught the imagination of people. What do you make of it? Exciting, fantastic, or somebody like you who likes to grind the attacks, blasphemous even?
No, I see. If you look at the England team, many of their batters have played, red ball cricket in that fashion. Someone like Ben Stokes, Johnny Bairstow. I've seen them, even Harry Brook. When I was playing for Yorkshire, I've seen them the way they used to bat. They are batting the same way, so they haven't changed their game. Maybe someone like Joe Root has been a little more innovative now. But overall, if you look at the England team, they are backing their strength. Most of the players are, their natural game is to little bit attacking. Some of the players have changed a bit, but I don't think they have made a massive change. I feel that yes, I mean, the good thing about the way they are playing is they want a result in the game, and that is the best way to go. I feel that even going forward, if Test cricket has to be exciting, it's important that you have a declaration as early as possible. Try and get, I mean, once you reach to a certain score, be brave enough to declare and try and bowl the opposition out. So it is exciting to see the way they are playing, but I still feel that there is always a fine line, and one as long as one understand that what you want to achieve in Test cricket, and they are going for a result, which is very exciting to see. How you do that, each and every team is different. We have seen the Ashes recently. Even the Australian team, their strategy was different. So still, they ended up winning first two Test matches. So it is always, the team has to play to their strength, and the Australian team played to their strength. They ended up winning first two, and the way England, came back in the series, the way they won the next two Test matches, it's been incredible. I think they never doubted their strength, and they stuck to what they've been doing. So yeah, it is exciting to see the way things are moving forward, and there is nothing wrong in having that positive approach. But yeah, I think one has to be, one has to have the right balance, because the kind of pitches they are playing on nowadays, it has also changed a bit. It is not a seaming track where you are, when you start playing on the up. The pitches have changed, the ball has changed a bit. It is slightly on the softer side. It is not swinging as much as what it used to be. So it is easier to play the way they are playing now. But once you start playing on a turning track, or once you start playing on a seaming track, whether it's possible to do it over a period of time, I think the time will tell.
Pujara has played in excess of 100 test matches. He's contributed immensely to successes at home and abroad. But does he sometimes feel he's not being treated fairly?
Well, that is not for me to think about it. I always feel that I don't try and think of whether I'm treated well or if I'm not being looked after. My job as a cricketer is to contribute to the team's success, try and do the best which I can to the Indian team, and I always try and control the things which I can, and which is always to get better. Whether it's about my fitness, whether it's about my fielding, whether it's about my batting, I always keep working on my game. So I always look at myself. What can I do better? Be part of the Indian team. What even when I'm part of the squad, I always try and improve as a player so that I'm able to give my best. I'm contributing to the team's success. Try and win as many matches as possible, and that's what I can do. I mean, other things I can't control, and the things which I can't control, I don't try and pay too much attention to it. I try and be the good thing about my life is I always try and be in present, not think about what has gone wrong in the past. Yes, I mean you want to improve from what has gone wrong as a cricketer, but when you are living your life, you try and be in the present, try and enjoy your life rather than thinking about what has went wrong and whether I've been treated fairly or not. That is not something for me to look to. I think I enjoy my life. I try and enjoy each and every moment. And whatever games I play, I always feel, whether it's a club level, whether it's Ranji Trophy, Dulip Trophy, whether it's county cricket, whatever games I play, I try and enjoy it. I try and do my best, and that gets me going. I think being in the present and doing well in each and every game, that will always help me get better as a cricketer. And whenever there's an opportunity, I know that I'm what I'm capable of, and I just want to enjoy my cricket as long as I can.
Out at the middle, does Pujara enjoy his obsession for batting, or does he like to see the bowlers grinding away to be only met with solid defense? What does he enjoy most out in the middle?
Well, it's both, very honestly, because when I'm grinding it out with the new ball, I know that I'll be able to play some shots once the situation or the condition gets easier. So I also enjoy playing shots. I also enjoy playing shorter format. So whenever I'm playing shorter format, I enjoy playing my shots. My preparation is different, so I enjoy that preparation as well. So I think there's a perception where it's always about defense, but I also enjoy playing shots. There is it's just the perception where people feel that I play very defensively. But if some of them have seen some of my first class innings, I've hit many fours and sixes. Even in the shorter format, I've played many lofted shots. So I enjoy the game. It's about as I've said earlier. So it's about playing the situation. Cricket is never about just having a one type of mindset where you just have to be defensive or you just have to be attacking. I think it's important that you play the situation. When there is a situation to attack, I think I enjoy players playing shots. I enjoy my shots as well. So it's about having that contest. You need to understand what the bowler is trying to do, and you try and get on top of them.
I was not trying to imply anything about the defense. I know for a fact, as you know as well, nothing really cheeses a bowler off than to see solid defense being played after all the effort he's put in. Now, talking about club cricket, if I remember right, you did have a stint for one of the clubs in Chennai, and that you played under your friend Ashwin leading the side. How was it?
Yeah, it was a good experience for me. It's always about being in touch with the game, try and play as many matches I can, because when you are doing your net sessions, over a period of time, you realize that it's important to have match practice, because in nets, even if you get out you can still carry on, and you can carry on for half an hour, 1 hour, and then without any pressure, you are just batting. But when you are there in the middle, you know that if even if you make a mistake, I mean, even if it's a simplest of mistake, or if there is a casual shot and you get out, you don't get another opportunity. So I felt that it was important for me to have that match practice, and that was the reason I wanted to play some club cricket in Chennai, and I had a great time. I enjoyed my time. It was a different experience playing in Chennai weather. Sometimes it can be challenging because the weather is hot. Pitches are different. Most of the pitches, most of the games which I played, the ball, the spinners, there was a lot of help for the spinners. The ball was turning. So yeah, it was good to see, and good to have that experience.
I think we've been serious for too long here. Let's discuss something on a lighter note. Have you ever realized that you charge from mid wicket sometimes, appealing for a leg before?
No, I mean, I never thought about that, but yeah, sometimes I've done that, and it's exciting because when you're fielding, you want a bowler to pick a wicket, and then you're getting carried away with the emotions, and you start charging.
A word of advice for those who are not naturally athletic in terms of fitness. How do they go about
It is important to have a good routine. It's important to do your fitness sessions regularly. It's not just about doing everything in one day. I think if you want to build your fitness, you have to do it gradually over a period of time. So it's important that you plan out your sessions in a week. I think it's important to have 2 or 3 strength sessions along with 2 or 3 running sessions. Depends on what you want to achieve or what you want to work on. But I think out of a week's time, you have to be active for at least 5 or 6 days, and then take a day off. Some players try and take 2 days off in between. So it depends on what works for you, but the simplest thing is you have to be active for 5 days out of 7, and if you can carry on for over a period of time, you will see results. And if you're not a natural athlete, I mean, there is no way you should think that you can't get better. One can always get better if they keep working on their fitness. So never stop working on your fitness. I'll always say that if you have the capacity to push yourself, try and push yourself for over a period of time, and don't expect results in a month's time, because fitness, it'll take time. Keep working for 3 months, 6 months, and over a period of time, you will see that you will get fit.
it? You said some time ago that you always live in the present. But as for the fans of Pujara are concerned, where do they see Pujara going next? I know now you'll go do your best for Sussex as a batter and captain. What next?
Well, as I said, I try and be in the present, and for me, next is there's a game for Sussex, and I want to do well in that. I've already started my preparation for that. So each and every game which I play, I want to perform in that. I've been back. I know that I've been batting really well. If you look at my, current and recent performances, it has been really good. Whether it's county cricket, whether it's for the Indian team, I know that the way I've been batting, I'm in a great nick. So I just want to keep performing, keep doing the things which I can control, and yes, definitely, hopefully, I'll get my chances in future.
Thank you, Cheteshwar Pujara. Very kind of you to make time for us and have a chat with us, even though you got a busy schedule out there in the UK. Thank you very much, and wish you all
Thank you,
the
sir.
very best in the future. Well, that was Cheteshwar Pujara, very precise with his answers as he's out there in the middle when he's facing the best bowlers in international cricket. As always, I would like to request those who are joining us for the first time to log on to the handle of Sportstar and see the earlier episodes, and also subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and press whatever buttons there are. And for those who've been with us all these episodes, please keep giving us your feedback and send in your comments, because they are absolutely valuable to us. And as I always sign off, until I catch up with you next time, be good and stay safe.